The latest IMF Tune release introduced a new quarantine and reporting component. Today, we have a look at the new functionality this component is exposing. Without further ado, let's start from the system setup of an IMF Tune installation. On the Exchange server, we have the IMF Tune filtering engine that will process emails and apply actions depending on the spam ratings. Processed emails may be stored to a database, giving us the opportunity to review and, if necessary, resubmit blocked emails. The database also gathers processing information, from which various reports are generated. This is where the new web interface comes into play. Let's hide the Exchange server-side components and focus on this component. The quarantine is made up of a Microsoft SQL database server acting as the email repository, an IIS web application providing the user interface to the quarantine and reporting functionality. The web interface is an IIS ASP.NET application and may be installed on Windows 2003, 2008 and 2008 R2 server platforms. The Microsoft SQL server may be any from SQL 2000, 2005 and 2008. The free SQL Express 2005 and 2008 editions are also supported. From the IMF Tune server configuration, we select which emails are to be quarantined. Most often, you will want to quarantine the emails blocked at the server, those emails that never reach the user mailboxes. Here, the server is rejecting emails with SCL 5 and 6 and deleting those with a higher rating. So we configure IMF Tune to quarantine all emails with SCL 5 and higher. We do this from the IMF Tune server configuration under Archiving and Quarantine. Create a new archiving profile. Name it and select Also add archived email to quarantine database. Next, from the SCL property page, we select all SCLs from 5 to blacklisted. We commit the configuration changes, allowing the server to start quarantining emails. Next, we move to the configuration Quarantine Users category. Here, we will create an account granting it access rights to the quarantine and reporting functionality. So we click Add. Assign a login name and password. Next, we select the predefined administrative role to quickly assign full access rights. We are now ready to log on to the quarantine and reporting interface. At the browser, enter the URL, the server name where the web component was installed, /IMFTune. We log in using the credentials just created at the IMFTune configuration. Here are the emails quarantined so far. We can sort emails by clicking on the column headers. We can filter emails. For example, here are all the emails containing the word pharmacy in the body. And of course, we can delete. And resubmit emails we want to release to the original recipients. Let's open a quarantine. Here we have all the information typically presented by email clients. The list of email headers, the SMTP email envelope, a report showing any whitelists, blacklists and rules that match the email. This is very useful as it gives you precise information on how the IMF Tune engine changed the email spam rating. Here we can see that this email matched a blacklist, causing a change in the initial SCL from 8 to blacklisted. Moving on, we can also see information on additional operations the IMF Tune server performed on this email. Here is the full path where the email was archived to disk, and the CSV file path where the email was recorded. Let's have a look at reporting now. The General Spam Detection Report gives us an overall picture of email processing. This chart shows us how IMF Tune is handling processed emails, the number of accepted, rejected, delete and rerouted emails. This shows the total emails assigned each of the SCL ratings. And the next shows the daily email load. There isn't much information here yet, since we are working with a fresh installation. The detailed spam detection report provides more specific information. The topmost report shows how often individual whitelist, blacklist and rule keywords are matching processed emails. Here, the Japanese character set is shown to be causing most matches. Following that, we find phrases matching spam advertising pharmaceutical products. This information gives us an insight on the effectiveness of our current configuration settings. Another report is the one showing the list of recipient addresses receiving most emails. This can be useful when configuring mailbox size limits, for example. And this report is showing the top IP addresses from which spam is originating. This can be a good reference when updating the IP blacklist. This concludes our presentation. Today, we had an overall look at the IMF Tune quarantine and reporting component. This is the first in a series of videos we are publishing, so we recommend you stay tuned to the WinDeveloper YouTube video channel, where we will post more tutorials covering this functionality more in depth.